Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be reviewing the debut album from an act named Cantek Batur titled Snowbird. And if we switch over to here, we have the album art on MusicBee. This is a really interesting album from what I understand. There's been quite a few people involved with this. I think it was 25 people from 12 different countries, including a guitarist named Luis Carlos Maldonado, who apparently was part of a band called Foreigner, and he's been doing some guitar work on this album. But more importantly, Cantek Batur was formerly involved in a band called Zift, a Turkish act, and then they did some rock music, and I think that Cantek is based in Toronto now, and this is again his debut album. So we're going to listen through each of these 7 tracks. We've got No Rituals, Feels Like a Song, Snowbird, Come to Me Lost, Under the Clouds. Yeah, let's go. From start to finish, hear what we think. We'll start with track 1, No Rituals.
They will never reach serenity while following their own shadows. They're not happy because they're not safe. They're delusional because they don't know. But you gave me your conscious, and I gave you eternity.
It's interesting having the Foley and the chanting in the background, and this person speaking in the center, and these synths coming into play now.
That you see in each other is the energy in your souls.
Haven't really heard anything like this in a while.
Only because you are not them. Tell them this is not an illusion of comfort. This is family.
Okay. This is family. We've got a lovely drum groove going on here. It sounds like it's going to get a little bit heavier than this. Oh, it's actually really charming, isn't it? With these lovely, nicely panned guitar parts on the sides. I think we've got a tambourine in there as well. It's pretty. It's nicely balanced. I wasn't entirely expecting this from the intro, but this is okay. Okay, yeah. I'm liking the way we have these occasional backing vocals. Solid steady. Is that a 16th note groove on the drums? Oh, I know the quarters. There's kicks and snares on the quarters, but... Okay, it was nice rounding out on that 4/4 at the end. Well, there's no rituals. Yeah, okay. We've got this almost classic rockish kind of vibe with this. A very bright, cheery sounding track. It's not right. He doesn't want this kind of life. Oh, it's a little bit darker than I thought. You've got these lovely jangly chords and the overdriven guitar and everything. It sounds semi-euphoric, and there's a bit more of that darkness that we've got in those lyrics in the story we're telling. There's a bit of contrast there, but that's okay. Okay, I've been misled. I've been kept away. Ah, so it's still my manipulation or something like that along the lines of maybe realizing that this isn't the life you wanted and you've been kept out of the being aware of it, you know? I like the lead guitar coming in this part. It sort of makes me think of having an epiphany about it or like a sudden realization about the situation you're in. Yeah, there's a smoothness to the production of this. You can tell that whoever was involved with the mastering did a tremendous job with it. I've got to admit that. There's a nice consistency with the dynamics of the track without it suffocating or throttling it, you know? The drums are punchy as hell, man. I love the occasional fills that we have there, and also the range of different strokes we got involved in there. And the guitar parts are pretty sassy as well. I dig that in the nicest way. There's a sense of sadness in this chorus. There are no rituals. It finishes nicely. I don't know if I was necessarily expecting that. Is there an organ or something in there, or is that mostly guitar parts creating that softness and that harmony? Lovely ghost notes on that right cymbal. Great emotional depth to the vocal performance. Yeah, we've actually got lyrics for these songs as well. You know, the moon sheds its light on my scars and my sins. On the other side of fear, my awakening begins. These empty streets and my powerless self, when the gods are dead, true colors show again. This sounds a lot heavier than what we were sent to believe from the guitar parts and the harmonies and the different verse and chorus sections. I think that there was a sense of that contrast there with where there's no miracles, there's no rituals, there's no light. When there's no miracle, there's no fight. You know, you can't escape it. It's a shame kind of thing, you know. I don't want this kind of love. No, it's not right. The silence will wake me up. Damn, see how dark it gets? I've been alive in this box of ice. I know after this I'll be in the mend forever. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's well-written music, and I think it works within itself in addition to the lyrics. But it's like a situation where I think we're trying to maybe smooth out the intensity of the lyrics with the kindness in the music. Is it like we're trying to be kind to ourselves because of the struggle that we've been through? Is it a healing process or something like that? Now the bullet's too weak to get me. Now the storm's too far to shake me. This grey turns to blue. The blue turns to you. Okay, so things are gradually improving there. You know, we're finding hope within something else, finding hope within a different person, or like, I don't want this kind of love. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right. Yeah, so it illustrates the complexity of this relationship and how badly hurt this person is, and their understanding that you need to have this kind of contrast and conflict in a relationship in order to really appreciate it sometimes. Because if you have things well all the time, how do you know what you'd be like when you really had each other's backs? I'm not sure. This one's a tricky one. I think the performances so far in this album have been fantastic. I really enjoyed the guitar, bass, drum, other chorus parts, the vocals, and the backing ones as well. I mean, we've got a whole bunch of instruments. You know, we've got backing lead vocals and electric bass, guitar, classical, acoustic guitar, piano, Hammond organ, trumpets, and keypads and orchestration. So we've got a whole little mini orchestra going on within this album. But I think that's kind of what we need to be able to get to Cantek Batur's artistic sort of direction. I have a lot of respect for that. But yeah, Catchy pop song, my dude. Catchy acoustic rock pop song. I dig it. Bit of darkness there if you dig deeper, but that's fine. You can enjoy it both ways. This one is called Feels Like a Song. Feels Like a Song. Okay.
If you could only send me a wink tonight, thinking of you, holding me.
We love these types of chord progressions and bass lines in this. I get it. We're trying to make catchy music, that's cool.
Hours of the night.
Lovely Hammond organ there, lovely tail into that.
Why do you have to be so far? Why does every word that we speak feel like a song? Thinking of you.
I cannot explain how much I love the addition of that wop 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 kind of bass synth. I think that's what makes the song for me. A lot of these elements are things I've heard before across the time I've been doing these reviews. The guitars or the drums and even some of the vocal melodies there. The guy's got a distinctive voice, don't get me wrong. But a lot of these vocal melodies are things I've heard before. The inclusion of this really fun, kind of almost wacky kind of womp 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 kind of synth there. It kind of stuns you a little bit and it kind of lulls you out of the expectation that the rest of it is just going to be what you've heard before. We need bits like this within a track to really make it stand out and be memorable, so we're off to a good start with this one.
Long talks that feel like a song. Oh, if I could only be dancing with you tonight. Ooh, why do you have to be so far? Why does every word that we speak feel like a song?
Why does every word that we speak feel like a song? I think that's a cool way to end the chorus. I think that's an interesting thing to consider. Sometimes life can feel like a theater show, with you putting no effort into putting it that way whatsoever. It's just the way drama unfolds.
I know.
I'm not necessarily saying, by the way, that I think this is intrinsically like negative. You know, sometimes you can have that kind of situation where things are beautiful and glorious and enjoyable, well, without, you know, why and make it sound like a song. I'm not saying there's intrinsically a negative type to that.
Good nights and sweet dreams of sleep we can live over. What ifs and possibilities.
I've heard those sort of endings in like songs from the Beatles and other bands, and I like that we have ba 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 ba. We've obviously Cantek Batur has obviously had a lot of experience. I mean, I think he's been performing since he was 13. He's been involved in music for a really, really long time, a lot of his life, and it shows. There's a clear experience there. There's finesse within his songwriting and composition, clear consideration of where we need to go in regards to interesting stories. Like not just the stories with the songwriting, but also the way he expresses himself within it. I'm like that kind of way of entering a chorus isn't necessarily something you hear all the time. A lot of people just don't have the guts to be able to start with a sound as opposed to like a spoken word kind of thing, you know. See what I mean? It's fun. It's fun. It's like we're asking, right?
So far, you whisper low and you lift me high. Every word that we speak feels like a song.
Really? We did that. I like that. I like the audacity of putting that in. That was fun. I like the fact that we're messing with different elements of this kind of acoustic rock pop stuff over the last 20 plus years. And we're melding it to suit the flow of it and the general vibe of it. And I kind of, it makes me smile. Actually, it makes me smile. It's just, I don't know why I didn't expect it, but I didn't expect there to be a sudden drum beat with the vocals coming up on the sides and that slow build with the automation and entering back into the chorus. It was a genuinely kind of sick way of going, a sick in a good way, by the way, a sick way of re-entering this section that we're quite familiar with by this point, you know? That was a pretty dope little drum fill we had there as well, man. We'll pause in a minute. Yeah, we're extending this outro. Okay, cool. All right. A couple of things. I really enjoy how we're arpeggiating the guitar chords as opposed to just strumming. I think that the arpeggiation of these chords and the rhythm section makes it a bit softer and allows for more room for the other elements of the mix, like the backing vocals or the backing choir that's come in alongside Jontek. Again, we are allowing that range with the bass and the drummer being able to do those fills and the tail end of each half or quarter of the hook. I like the fact that we're not trying to control the different elements too much. We're not trying to sterilize the performance to fit into a box. That boo at the end was not a sound I was expecting to hear at the end of the song, but it's what we got. I did enjoy Feels Like a Song just a little bit more than No Rituals. The elements to me connected a little bit more better, like what we were talking about melded with the almost silky smooth nature of the chorus and all that, you know. That's obviously a subjective thing, by the way. Not everyone's going to agree with me on that. And I think that's the fun part about music is that despite the fact I'm a music reviewer, I don't expect everyone to like agree with me on it, you know? It's cool. You know, we talk about the lyrics. If you could only send me a wink tonight, it sounds like a love song, holding kissing me past the wee hours of the night. It sounds like, I wouldn't say necessarily a ballad, but it's one of those cheesy kind of like love songs from the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, where we're looking back across the history and again bringing different parts of the history, the tapestry of our contemporary music into this album. Thinking of you rocking it out, long talks that feel like a song. Oh, if I could only be dancing with you tonight. I think that's sweet. I think it's sweet that that we're explaining and sort of communicating that intimacy there. Why do you have to be so far? Why does every word that we speak feel like a song? Oh, it's hard letting go. Good nights and sweet dreams of sleep we can live off. What ifs and possibilities. I'm assuming that this isn't about a breakup necessarily. This is maybe about literal distance. Or maybe emotional distance. Maybe they connect really well on some levels, but they can't necessarily connect completely. So he's like, yo, why can't we just have the full picture, you know? Let me dance with you tonight. Let me take you on a twilight ride. Let me climb to the stars with you because I only feel free when I don't have to be. I adore this. I think that was a great way to finish before that drum and bass lit outro there. Nice to elaborate on that. You know, we're talking about the dark and the fearless mind. Let me live my dreams with you with no crossroads. Just like a song, you know? Why does every word that we speak feels like a song? Well, it's because your love is poetic, you know? And that's a beautiful thing. I like that we're asking the question, but also I like that the song answers the question within itself. It's a nice twist. This was a really well-written song. I liked the combination of the instruments, the textures they provided, and colorations with the major and minor tonalities. They helped to simplify among the other elements. Like, you know, if you have too many extended harmonies and there are too many extended chords and arpeggios, it gets a little bit too fiddly, you know? But we kept things simple where it needed to, whilst allowing certain musicians to extend themselves in a way that made sense with the music and enabled a continued sense of musicality. But yeah, we got Snowbird, track number 3. What is this one going to be about?
I'm a snowbird waiting on a hill. I'm bewildered, I don't know how to feel. Oh, I need a light, I need a sun.
We got a reggae-ish kind of vibe to it.
I'll jump right.
A reggae-ish kind of vibe, a dubbish kind of vibe. I'm just talking about the offbeat focus, basically.
Not over, rivers meet the sea. I'll just let it be and it will be.
Okay, where we're going with this?
That's how it's always been with me. Just don't go away.
I have to admit that those backing vocals there, I mean, like, how many different singers we've got? We got drums by Spencer Wynn, Brandon Davis, Sean McMorris, and Marcello Efori. But the backing vocals, I'll talk through everyone at the end, because you can see there's quite a few people. I don't know why I'm setting up notes. Shante Doris, Sonia L. Tyler, Shelby Olive, Abby Fuller, Phoebe Carter, Julieta Cavallaro, Catherine Thompson, Gabriela Noriega Adrianzen, and Natalie Greener. There's so many cool musicians involved in this. I am actually impressed. And I say this in a genuine way, not a facetious way. I'm genuinely impressed that we managed to get so many different musicians involved with this project, you know? But they're really nailing these cooler responses here. Lovely EQing and filtering of those frequencies there. And the brass, dude. The brass is welcome, man. That was a nice break with the brass. I think it was Marton Adami.
In a blue Spanish sky, you make me fly. I know
Cool, there's a little bit of peppiness and charisma with that bass line. So we're going for that Latin reggaeton kind of vibe with this track. That's cool. So it was like a snowbird, like a kind of bird where like they wanted to fly off to that part of the world, like a warmer climate or something like that. I'm just guessing because I know that I know that South America is often a lot warmer, you know. Having been there, you know. That was a hell of a. I keep putting out the drum fills. The percussionists, the percussionists are just pocketing it basically. Again, I think this is probably my favorite track so far, with the backing vocals and the interesting bass lines and the guitar parts. And the trumpet, obviously, from Marton. That guitar work, I don't know if you can hear that clearly, is just incredibly articulate. It's really quick. The guitarist who is doing the, you know, they really know what they're doing. Those notes were coming through clearly. It's a great combination of the overdriven slidey guitars and that main sort of like nylon acoustic or something like that. We're talking about flying away. Yeah, I think it's about moving somewhere else. I mentioned the colder. I know that there's cold parts of South America, or Latin America. You know what I mean. We got lyrics anyways. I'm a snowbird waiting on a hill. I'm bewildered. I don't know how to feel. Don't be gone when I hit the ground. Oh, so the snowbird is flying over there, and they're saying, "Don't be gone by the time I get there." There's interesting messages here. I know not all the rivers meet the sea. I'll just let it be, and it will be. I'll just let it be and it will be. That's kind of cute. I like that. Not trying to force destiny, you know? From the world away, you hear my sigh in a blue Spanish sky. You make me fly. Oh, we could be going to Spain as well, I suppose. Yeah, I know what this free falling means. I know it's love all over again. Take me higher. I kind of know a bit of Spanish here. I know a little bit of Spanish. Just the tiniest amount of Spanish. Already it's time to realize, follow your heart. You're going to me or something. Already it's time to something with the to get away from the fear. It's not too late. I wait for you in the sky. Come to me. I think that's really rough, but I think that's kind of what it says there. Take me higher. Take me higher. So I guess that's the other bird that he's wanting to fly towards and saying, yo, no, it's okay. You can come here. I'm going to be there for when you get here, you know? Unless I've mistranslated, in which case maybe I should be Google searching translating this, but I gave it my best try, right? I think that was sweet. I think it was cool to have the actual, like a type of style of music from that part of the world there, specific to those guitar style, those melodies within that part, and some of having the Spanish being sung there. I think that was a great way of sort of helping you to identify what the situation was with the other side and how they felt about the snowbird coming down to their end of the nest, you know? I'll spurt across the fields as far as my snowbird eyes can see. You know, my bags have not been sitting for too long. I'm a snowbird, know where I belong. I suppose you belong wherever you need to be. But they're trying to find a place that they can, that spontaneous search for a better life across the green fields. I mean, I dig that. I think that's great. That's a fun track. Lots of love for that. Well done to Cantek Batur for having 3 very unique songs so far. I think that they still fit well in regards to the subject matter. I know I may have missed parts, and I know a little bit about what the songs are about. But I wanted to have a really genuine, authentic experience with the songs themselves by also hearing them out and getting the story from that too. But we've got Come to Me. Come to Me, track number 4. Oh, okay. We're coming back with that brass, the trumpet.
Stars.
Right. I should probably also mention something really quick, just before I get. You know how I mentioned Luis Carlos Maldonado? Well, he was actually involved in like this part here, I think. I think he might have been involved in the guitar solo for this song. So don't worry. I remember to reference back to the musician I was talking about earlier on. Basically, Lewis did some work within this track, I think, and also Come to Me, which is the next song. So he performed in 2 of the songs. But yeah, just acknowledging that. We'll go back to Come to Me now, where Lewis is also involved. I didn't want to forget that.
Lit by the stars, caressed
Stunning vibrato there, actually, from Cantek Batur. I haven't really spoken much about his ability as a singer. Clearly the guy has pipes. Clearly the guy understands fundamental vocal technique. He also understands where to put the right emphasis in the words to make them matter. Again, it sounds like each of the topics that we've spoken and sung about so far have been really important to him, and he's given it 100% in a way that's healthy in regards to his technique, but also makes sense to the other parts of the instruments, you know. I think the only thing I said about No Rituals is I couldn't understand how the story necessarily reflected what was going on and the harmonies and stuff, but like the vocal performances have been absolutely stellar.
Daylight daunting, bodies ain't twined. Why so serious? We have no promises to break. Why mysterious? I got no revenge to take. Come to me in the silence of the night.
This is quite intense, this part, isn't it? Like, it doesn't sound really heavy or anything like that. I'm not saying it's like brutal death metal or anything like really in your face trying to flatten you. But just the perceived loudness of all the different parts of the mix right here is really well balanced. The songs sound like they're loud, you know?
In the least expected time, you know, I can't read your
Oh, nice bit of tension here with this different vocal melody.
and I don't know where
Oh, we're resolving it, going back to a safer passage there.
by the stars.
It's nice to have the bass syncing up with the kick on the drum kit with those kicks. I think boom, 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 boom. It's a great way of keeping a groove there and getting a person to nod their heads, you know. You want to have that central anchor groove to really help people just follow along once you tell your story so that you can take little dips and twirls without people getting distracted.
By the moonlight, daylight
Are we playing with
daunting.
brushes here on the snare?
Bodies ain't twined. Why
It's a lot more subtle because of that on those snares, and I think that's a smart move.
we had no promises to break? Why mysterious? I got no revenge to take.
No revenge to take. Why so serious? I've got no revenge to take. This is pretty hectic, isn't it?
In
Come
the
to me.
silence of the night, in the least expected time, you know, I can't read your mind. Touch me, and I'll know where we are.
Did he say, I can't read your mind, touch me, I'll know where we are? Sometimes that physicality can be very important for a relationship.
I'll know where we are.
Hey, Lewis! Or Louis. Just before I'll go back a little bit to enjoy the solo a bit more, but just in case it's Louis or Lewis, I'm not sure if it's Lewis or Louis. Apologies if I mispronounced your name, Louis or Lewis. I'm not sure which it is. I'm trying my best, but we'll go back a little bit so we don't interrupt your guitar solo, okay? So we'll go back to here, I think. Go back, yeah, there we go. Don't know why my computer's so laggy today, dude. I don't know why that is. Here we go. The sass and the intent. The killer intent with those notes.
Come to me in the silence.
The phrasing of that solo is legendary. I have to respect. The phrasing was legendary. It never felt like too much, even though we were shredding at some of those parts. we had some 16th triplets or something like that, and it was just no, not 16th. It would have been normal triplets because 1, 2, 3, 4. I think yeah, it would have been. But even the triplets were quick at that tempo, you know. Because that is quite a fast tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We were not doing a slow dance or anything like that. But just the articulation between those modal shifts and then rolling with that melodic sequence there. Never getting ahead of the music. Never making an ego project. Lovely sense of dynamics with some of the accents there. And some smooth legato passages, but ultimately finishing it off with a nice bend vibrato, I think it was. Was it a bend vibrato? Was it a bend vibrato? I don't know. I'm kind of tripping a little bit. No, it was just a vibrato, I think. Which is fine, you know.
In the least expected time, you know.
I think what's making this really intense for me, and what I mentioned about the perceived loudness, is that that stuff happening with the percussion is what's giving it a sense of urgency, you know? And it's contrasting really well with the way that Jontek is really taking his time with the vocal melody in this part.
And I'll know where we are. Undress the night. Undress my mind. Defying the morning and no
Hang on a minute.
demons to confront.
Am I hearing a...
Of heat rolling like the night.
What is that sound I'm hearing? I'm hearing, you know, one of those things you put together. Those the things you pull apart and make a sound. I'm hearing that in this, and I'm not quite sure what the name is. And it's bugging me. It's bugging me that I don't know what the name is. Yeah, so I could hear an accordion in there or something like that, alongside the trumpet. I could be wrong.
Down the rainbow and don't let go of my hand.
Don't let go of the hand. No.
I'll be me.
Go with those eighth note accents, great. Nice change of pace.
You call me May, and I'll call you June. You call me May, and I'll call you June.
You call me May and I'll call you June. Because they belong together, one after the other. Oh, nice head voice here. Okay, that was an interesting way to finish. I thought we were just going to hold that higher note and then, like, have that be the end of it. But we had the fade out. I wasn't expecting there to be the fade out, but I think that's fine. I mean, that was a 5-minute song, and I think we put enough in there to keep it entertaining, especially with that longer form guitar solo. There's these verses and choruses and fun little instrumental parts and everything like that. We're not holding back. This is 100% effort, man. I have all the time for it. Lit by the stars, caressed by the moonlight, daylight taunting, bodies entwined. Oh, okay. Nice. We have no promises to break. I've got no revenge to take. Yeah, no, I think we're talking about people spending the evenings together, if you know what I mean. That physical intimacy, that sexuality there. Yep, there we go. Don't overcomplicate it. Just touch me and I'll know where we are. Defy in the morning and no demons to confront. Let the waves of heat roll in like the night will never end. Just slide down the rainbow, and don't let go of my hand. Beautiful, beautiful imagery there. I dig that. I think that's fantastic. That's splendid there. Again, another take by Cantek Batur, but he handled it maturely, and there's a sense of sophistication with the song. I think the instrument choice was great with the accordion. I was about to forget the name of it again. The accordions and trumpets and other guitar parts and all that. And that solo full of passion was exactly what we needed to do. So well done to Louis or Lewis for that. 4 tracks, 4 for 4. We got Lost, which is the 5th. Oh, this is a bigger, longer review than usual. That's because we had the pleasure of having lyrics, you see. Gonna give you a pro tip if you're someone wanting people to review your music. If you supply lyrics, it'll help us understand your music better. It may seem like a no-brainer for people would be like, supply the lyrics, but you'd be wrong. You'd be wrong. People don't often do that. And then they get mad when you don't understand what your song's about.
Wipe your tears and find your disguise. Hide your baggage, remember your lies. You already put on a fake smile. You don't wanna give up without a fight.
I like the bit of vocal fry that we've got in his voice there, and the piano is a soothing touch.
Lost, you'll find your way out. Or you'll sit in the dark. Tell me all you want, but stay with me tonight.
Before we get into the next section with the drums, it was great. We had the Stay With Me Tonight, and we just let it hang. We just let it hang, you know?
Thinking too hard to make this feel right. You need more answers to justify tonight. You want a serenade to hear what you want to hear. Some distraction to let go your fears. When you're lost,
He goes so effortlessly into his higher range, doesn't he? He goes so effortlessly in there. There's no real sense of hesitation there. He knows he's going to nail it. That comes from experience.
find your way out.
And the piano flutters, man.
Or you sit in the dark. Tell me all you want, but stay with me tonight. You'll find your way out. Or you sit in the dark. Tell me all you want.
Like, this is incredibly soothing to listen to. It's a lot less, like, just because you've got that slow groove with the drums and everything like that, it kind of hangs there with that triplet rhythm with the rest of the instruments and the backing vocals. And they're just holding their notes really well, nice and cleanly. Increasing it a little bit with the rides. Okay. Hey, well done with those backing vocals, man. Having the multiples in there is a smart idea. I like that. I like that we gave the other singers a chance to showcase their talents. We don't need to constantly be telling a story from the main angle. We can have people back us up on the sides. The wispy reverb-laden layers from the guitar parts. And I think like it's important to remember that in terms of the, because I haven't really talked about the chord progressions or anything like that too much. You know, you've got ba ba bum. So what, like? Yeah, so you basically just got yourself an A, and then you've got yourself a, what was it, a C sharp slash an A major 7, and then you got a D major 7 chord, and then you've just got those harmonies there that are repeating and rolling through, you know? It's the small stuff like that. If you add little flickers of little elements there and there, it can really zazz up a progression that you can keep as a motif and keep it sounding fresh the whole way through. And it covers up that sort of having that F sharp at the bottom, you know what I mean? Even if we're rolling with an inverted C sharp chord, you know what I mean?
Wipe your tears and stay with me tonight.
And we're letting those vocals hang there with that vibrato there. We had the slow slow build, and then we had the crescendo that kept for the minute and a half, that extended climax. Stay with me tonight, and that's the final message the listener hears before we move into the next song. That's great. Well done, Cantek Batur. And that's another song. That's another strong single. We go, wipe your tears and find your disguise. Hide your baggage, remember your lies. You've already put on a fake smile. You don't want to give up without a fight. Oh, so this is about like people finding support, finding a connection with each other, right? You know, sit in the dark, tell me all you want, but stay with me tonight. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of complexity to the situation. They're obviously potentially a broken individual who's really struggling, thinking too hard to make it right. Need more answers to justify. You want a serenade? Some distractions? When you're lost, you find your way out, or you sit in the dark. But getting back to that key point, you sit in the dark, or you find your way out. I think Cantek in that song is just offering the person support. You know, you don't have to be in the dark, or even if you do feel sad, I'll be with you and I'll help you out. You know, we'll be together. We've got it. You know, just let me ease your strains tonight. Yeah, I do think this is a song that speaks support. Massive, big, sort of like fourth harmony, appreciative and respecting overall harmonies here with the drums keeping a consistent, triplet groove there. Nice and slow, makes you feel like you're caressed. The sort of the occasional dips in energy levels, I think, are there to reflect a distaste for needing to keep things sort of chaotic here. We wanted to be more of a relaxing experience with this one. So absolutely, well done with Lost. I think this is one of my favorite songs so far. And I haven't really talked much about the recording, mixing, and mastering. I think I'll do that at the end. It's sensational, but I want to sort of go into it a bit more later on. We've got, what's this one? This is Under the Clouds. Wow, it's really struggling to move the image around. Okay, all right. We got the Hammond coming back in. Got the drums and the piano. Okay, we're going with that one. All right, that's cool. That bass line.
Wipes her eyes, a baby in her arms. God has not been around for.
I like this this inclusion of the Hammond here. It gives more of a spiritual feel. I'm wondering if that is going to be something that continues. I don't mind either way. Don't get me wrong. It's just when we talk about a baby in your arms and stuff like that, and we have that sort of church organ, it does make me wonder where we're going with that.
Can turn the page, no space to dream. Every day feels like the last one. She learns forgiveness, she learns fear. She learns to pull faith from under the clouds. She sees.
Oh, learns to pull faith from under the clouds. So are they insinuating that, like, she gets faith without needing to believe in whoever is above it?
Faces of million races. Her wish is on a sign, and she holds it high.
Okay, cool. We got that guitar coming in. Great. Bit of grit there.
And I'm cold and I'm lost.
Okay, where are we going with this?
Walk through my walls like a ghost. And don't turn your head away. Every day I wake up under the clouds.
We wake up on Earth. It sounds like we're floating above the clouds, but it's almost like we're making peace with the fact that we're not, judging by the major tonalities here and the playfulness and the sense of caring from those textures in the melody section. And the harmony, I suppose.
She'll numb her body, she'll numb her mind. And the blaring sirens promise it'll get her through the night. A prayer is no miracle. A church is no shelter. Fractured smiles won't lift her up. Spare a dime and take your time. Love isn't stronger than justice. No direction, no inspiration. Home is everywhere. Her feet touch the ground.
Wow. I'm just thinking about what we've got here, the overall vibe of this track, the sound with the organs, the guitars. It does sound like something I'd heard from like Hillside or whatever the hell it is, Hillview, or there's this type of big sort of Christian church band. I used to teach a lot of music to some of my students who were really into their music back in the day. And I think it's kind of fun that we're talking about these churches not being a shelter and prayers not being a miracle. We've got a similar tonality to that kind of music. It's a fun, it's a strong statement, but I kind of dig in this situation the contrast and the complexity of the situation, you know?
Don't you turn your head away. Every day I wake up under the clouds.
Is this as close to a ballad as we've had so far? I'm not quite sure. It was nice that the vocals come in the second time on the sides.
Under the clouds. Under the clouds.
I'm loving the modulation on the guitar there with the tremolo or the vibrato. Or, you know, there's a bit of chorus on there maybe.
Face
It works well with the Hammonds.
she'll face her fear. Face the lie.
Or it could be a synth maybe.
She knows her dreams were as good as anyone's, but she can't remember how the winds have turned. Please tell me how, tell me how, tell me why the winds have turned.
That song flew by. Tell me how the wings... Wait, what was that last part? I want to just catch that one more time.
Tell me why the winds have turned.
Tell me why the winds have turned. What is that supposed to mean? Is that the clouds rolling away or coming back, or how things... You know, maybe you had a constant view of the sky. Maybe you could see the light, but then things just got worse or something like that. I'm not sure, man. We're gonna have to listen to the lyrics, to read through the lyrics to really understand this one, I think. It did sound like a sermon that had a bit of sass to it. And I dig that. I mean, we're talking about really important subject matter. You know, like it's absolutely truthful and valid for us to consider. You know, people do genuinely struggle, and a lot of people think that if they pray, things are going to improve, and oftentimes that just does not occur. There's no tangible, feasible way of following that. So I completely agree with what they're talking about here. I know it'll be a little bit contentious, but people are entitled to their opinions, you know? She wipes her eyes, her baby in her arms. God has not been around for a while. Yeah, we're instantly laying into that. There was no subtlety there. Again, I think we have a situation there where we have the music kind of saying one thing and the vocals saying another. But in this instance, the contrast and the dissonance there is sort of welcome, I suppose. Maybe it's just because I agree with it. I don't know, man. I don't have an issue with people who are religious, spiritual, but I understand what's being said here. You know, her wish is on a sign as she holds it high, and that's starving, cold, and lost. That is the chorus. That is her sign. Oh, I get it. This is about homelessness. Oh, I get it. So it's talking about how, like, she can't be saved by religion and how it's just really difficult to fix it. I kind of get it. You know, under the clouds because there's no roof over her head, right? I get it. This is why it's important for me to have the lyrics so that I can have a second go at it and corroborate it. Corroborate it? I think that's the word. She knows her dreams were as good as anyone's, but she can't remember how the wind has turned. You know, she can't understand what went wrong, what she did wrong. And she wants people to tell her what she runs wrong so that maybe she can fix it. And that's life, man. You wake up one day, you realize, oh my goodness, what the heck is going on? And then you've got to face the consequences of the actions that you may not have even been aware of. You know, it was a slow pot slow boiling you in the water. And then you get to the end there and it sucks a lot. And that's an understatement. We've got Making Dreams. And just before we get into this one, I should note, apparently this song is based on, it's basically about friends and love and companionship. It was inspired by a TED Talk by Eddie Jaku, if I'm not mispronouncing that. And apparently Eddie was a Holocaust survivor. So within the song, I think people can hear his voice speaking through the lyrics. So yeah, let's go. Last song for today. I don't know how I'm going to edit this review. It's a long one, dude.
The night has come with nothing in mind. I ease myself into the calm and quiet of the night. In a blink of an eye,
We got that starter with the strings, the ballad and the vocals, the pianos and the vocals.
the tears of the sky. I don't know where we are. You let me be the teacher when we both had lots to learn, and no memory to smile about. I know that it's not easy making dreams on empty hearts, but I feel I'm falling hard.
I love how fragile his voice sounds within this. He's showing some vulnerability, some emotional vulnerability here. And it works really well with the piano and the strings. Arpeggios on that right hand, chords work in the left. Strings in unison with that. Let's dance with you. Are we doing that? But the dancing part.
Say my name. Say it like it's always been a whisper on your lips.
Okay.
Lay it on me. Show me your ways. Tell me your games. Slowly let me in your secret walls. Here's to every sign that cleared my ways to you. Here's to the winds that flew you here. I would gaze at your eyes forever into your golden light. I know what I want tonight. I wanna freeze the time and dance with you.
Okay, so we want to freeze time and dance with you. We want to sort of still this moment between us and make it last forever. Okay. Okay. I get it. I get it. I did the little intro before and I'm hearing that within this track.
I wanna freeze the time and dance with you.
It's meaningful, the way that it's sung.
Walk in front of me, may not be able to follow. Don't this war.
Don't walk behind me, I may not be able to lead you. Damn, man. That's some heavy stuff. Like, honestly, I mean, that's an understatement, right? Imagine someone looking up to you and you're not being out, needing to tell them, yo, you seriously shouldn't be looking up to me. I don't know if I'm capable of doing this. There's self-doubt that, and the caution there is reflected in Jontek's vocal performance.
Walk beside me and be my friend.
That's a nice finish for that, eh?
Walk beside me and be my friend. Be my friend.
Please do not walk in front of me. I may not be able to follow. Please do not walk behind me. I may not be able to lead. Just walk beside me and be my friend.
That's what made that special. That's what made that special. I was like, yeah, okay, I get what we're saying here. I need that little bit of extra polish here to make this really just as down near perfect as it's going to be. And as I think I mentioned before, literally we put that part of the TED Talk in here, you know, walking beside that person, just being with them side by side. That's a beautiful thing. It's a phenomenal message. And I think it's something that a lot of people can learn from, you know. We need to see each other as equals, you know. See each other as equals. I cannot imagine this journey they've been through. But that is effectively the album. I just got to turn my camera on. Oh no, we got to do the lyrics. We got to do the lyrics first. We got Making Dreams, track number 7. The night has come with nothing in mind. I ease myself. So what? The streets go white, frosty tears, and I don't know where we are. Originally, they were learning from that other person's, but they don't really have that same chance anymore. Say my name, say it like it's always been a whisper on your lips. It's beautiful imagery, you know, like the symbolism, the metaphors there. Well, that's a simile, isn't it? But you know what I mean. Show me your ways, tell me your games, slowly let me into your secret walls. Every sign that cleared my way to you, the winds that flew you here, going back to that Snowbird thing with the snows flying across, you know, or maybe that's a reach on my part. I'm trying to connect the dots within this album. I would gaze in your eyes forever in your golden light. I know what I want tonight. I want to freeze time and dance with you. Just be my friend. Walk beside me and be my friend. Be my friend. Yeah. You can learn from people. They can learn from you. You may be in different positions in life, but ultimately they're just as human as you are. And I think that's what the song was trying to talk about. And there was a softness and something lovable about this track. It seemed like a genuine, authentic experience that we were having with Cantek Batur. And I think this is actually a track that is very, very special to Cantek, if I understand it correctly, for obvious reasons. You know, the journey Eddie Jaku went through was obviously, as a Holocaust survivor, was absolutely horrendous. I can only imagine. But for them to be able to speak to people about that journey and be like, yo, just be beside me, be my friend. It's heartwarming. It's a really nice way to end an album, you know? Because this is the conclusion. The way that I'm wanting to interpret this album at this point in time is that this is, of course, Cantek Batur's debut album, but it's also, when we talk about Snowbird, it's about us all as these animals, these birds flying through the sky trying to find a home with each other. Whether, we're actually a snowbird trying to find somewhere warmer or more hospitable, whether we're two birds trying to find a nest for each other and make a nest, whether, we're birds that are struggling and we look to the sky for support, but we can't see the sun for the clouds, We don't have a home to call. Again, this is my interpretation of it. I think that there are a lot of intertwining, connecting tales within this album, within the 7 tracks, that make a lot of sense together, stylistically, thematically. I'm happy with it. I think the stories are interesting from what we've gone through. It's been nice to have the lyrics to read through as well, so I have additional context and some parts that I might otherwise not have been able to understand correctly. I think that Cantek Batur's singing was sensational, fantastic vocalist, fantastic performer. I can see why he's in a position where he can make an album like this with such other talented musicians. We're going to go through the list now while we're here. We've got Spencer Wynn, Brandon Davis, Sean McMorris, and Marcello Efori on drums. Backing and lead vocals, Shante Doris. I think I've gone through Sonia, Shelby, Abby, Phoebe Carter, Giulietta Cavallaro, Catherine Thompson, Gabriela Noriega, Adrianzen, and Natalie Greener. Electric bass, Ilker Goshman, Bruno Migliari. Electric guitar, Ole Anzash, Louis Carlos Maldonado, and Neil Whitford. Classical and acoustic guitar, Luis Carlo Maldonado and Jose Torres Vicente. Piano, Jacanel Mouton, Yavuz Yurtguder. Hammond organ, Abel Bokira, Yavuz Yurtguder. Trumpet, Maraton Adami. And keys, pad, and orchestration, Yavuz Yurtguder. So yeah, huge effort with this. Huge international effort, you know. Basically, time will tell the level of success that Cantek Batur has, but I really hope that he can find some. Obviously, when you're a solo artist and you're working with lots of international musicians, it makes it difficult to do the live kind of gigs sort of thing. You've also got tracks here that have a really great core structure that can maybe be performed without the additional elements, you know, like as a solo artist. And of course, that's probably something that Cantek has already thought of. I don't need to be educating someone that's talented on how to do live shows. He's been doing it again since he was young, you know. But, you know, we had a great vocalist with phenomenally talented musicians involved, great stories. The songs themselves each had a distinct. We had some pop vibes, some ballads, some reggaeton, some like indie kind of folkish kind of stuff going on there occasionally. Lots of fun music with influences across the last sort of 3-4 decades. I've got all the time for it, man. Well done to Cantek Batur. And just as a final thing on the recording, mixing, and mastering, but production, it was flawless, basically. Flawless. There were times where I couldn't hear the words super clearly from Cantek and the backing vocalists, but I think part of that was just because there was actual dynamic range within this album. So you didn't just have the vocals screaming at you the whole time, like with the breathing sounds being half the volume of the spoken words, you know? The EQing, filtering, panning, limiting compression, reverb, delay chains, and all that other good stuff was there. Yep, no complaints. Best of luck to you in future, Cantek. But effectively, this is my review of Cantek Batur's album, the debut untitled Snowbird. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show Cantek some love via his various social medias. And I'm sure he has so I'll put his social links here. Stay cool and stay safe, and please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as either help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.